Hey, everybody. Welcome to Game Mess Mornings with me, Jeff Grubb, your host from giantbomb.com. Thank you for tuning in. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Mario Kart finally getting that expected Donkey Kong DLC, potentially, and a new Banjo-Kazooie. What's going on over there? It's going to be a good one because we have Jason Fanelli on the show. Jason, how are you doing?
I am doing great, but do not get my hopes up that the bird and bear are coming back. That's mean. We'll talk about it
They're
later.
already back. It's already happening. What do you mean?
I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, things are good. Getting ready for my first ever trip to the Game Awards in its current format. Next week, I'll be out there Wednesday to Saturday morning doing some game journalism stuff that I'm very excited about. Some cool previews lined up. A opportunity that I can honestly say I've never done before will be part of this trip. So we'll leave it at that. And your clue is, have you ever watched Ted Lasso?
I've watched the first season and some of the second.
I'll be Trent Crimming. With someone or something. So
interesting. You're going to be embedded, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Well, we'll get you back on afterwards when you can talk about it. You can tell us all about what happened, and
yes, we'll do.
Find your coverage and all that. Jan's going to be out there. You can hang out with them. You guys can make hay while the sun's shining, which I hear it does out in LA. I'm looking forward to you guys getting a chance to hang out. Looking forward to us talking over the Game Awards here at Giant Bomb. Everybody, that's what we'll be doing. The rest of the crew. You're right. That's next week. Less than a week away, right? Yeah.
It certainly is. It is 6 days away. The 11th is when everything kicks off down there in Keely-Palooza in LA in the Peacock Theater. Should be a good one. I'm sure there'll be plenty to talk about in the lead up to. I think there's some interesting things in the pipeline, some interesting things I may or may not have already seen that are intriguing, thought-provoking. I'm excited. Should be good.
Yep. Yeah, I think this will be a big one as well. If Half-Life 3 really does get announced, that'll be so huge. Everything else won't matter. But
that's true. That's exactly right.
We'll see. It's wild to think that we could be seeing that in less than a week. But who knows? We've been fooled before. All right, let's explain ourselves. We're Giant Bomb, video game doofuses, independent games media. We really enjoy making this stuff, and we can only do it because we have you at our backs. You went to giantbomb.com/join, became a premium member. We're very thankful for you doing that. It does ensure that we can continue making stuff like this, doing things like getting together for Game of the Year, which we're going to be doing here pretty soon. All of that is possible through your support. We don't have any corporations at our back. It's just you. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it. As far as this show goes, most weekdays, I, Jeff Grubb, will help piece your gaming life back together. That includes breaking news and maybe even some of our own original reporting. For all these topics, I'll get the input of a bona fide expert who will make me look smart. If you are watching live on Twitch, welcome. You can always listen to the show later on podcast feeds by searching for Game Mess Mornings, or find the RSS feed on giantbomb.com. You can also catch the show later with chapters and timestamps on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. All right, we have a lot to get into, so let's start the morning mess with Netflix has agreed to buy Warner Brothers, including game developers behind Mortal Kombat and Hogwarts Legacy. This is from Andy Robinson at VGC. Netflix has agreed to a deal to acquire the film and streaming business of Warner Brothers Discovery, which also includes its video game division. After weeks of bidding from companies including Comcast and Paramount Skydance, the pair announced a deal worth $82.7 billion in enterprise value on Friday. Warner Brothers owns IPs such as Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, and the DC Universe. It also owns video game developers like Mortal Kombat's NetherRealm Studios, Batman Arkham creator Rocksteady, Hogwarts Legacy's Avalanche, and Lego game studio TT Games. According to Netflix, the deal brings together two pioneering entertainment businesses, combining Netflix's innovation, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, for a long time now, we've been talking about Warner Brothers' video game division getting sold off, something happening to that. That never manifested, largely for all the reasons that we would always bring up when that conversation would come around, Jason, which is that's a big investment. The IP won't go along with it, so you're just getting the studios, and that's going to make all of those studios worth a lot less, and Warner Brothers is not going to accept that. So, that never happened. Instead, it stayed inside of Warner Brothers and became part of a larger package now that Netflix is picking up. Do you think that this will manifest in any noticeable changes here anytime soon for the video games coming out of Warner Brothers under Netflix? Or do you expect them to be kind of that to be a little bit of an afterthought while it sets up its movies and television shows and things like that?
I don't think it'll be as much of an afterthought as people anticipate it to be, because Netflix has tried to embed itself in video games
Yes.
for years now. Maybe not so much with original games. They have done a few, and they did own a few studios. They still do own a few studios. But for me, I'm of a couple minds of this. From the gaming perspective, I think it's great because getting David Zaslav away from video games is a dub.
Feels like it's only a good thing. Yeah.
Yes, it's not going to Paramount, which is a W.
Yeah.
So, but and they do seem to really value the gaming media because they tried the indie thing where they were publishing mobile games. It was the only place you could play those games on mobile. Like Kentucky Route Zero was one for a little bit. Yep. And there was a whole like
into the Breach. I think was one just like that.
One. They the Golden Idol games is another example. It was a great idea that they advertised poorly, right? Like the fact that on my phone, I had to scroll down to find the games, and it was just like a random list of all of their weird, like Too Hot to Date or whatever those stupid shows are, Too Hot to whatever. I don't watch dating shows to get to the games that I want to play. That was not a great idea. Separate app would have been a better idea. That's a discussion for a different day. But they tried it, and they put a lot of money into it, a lot of investment into it. Didn't quite work out the way they wanted to. They backed off. They were developing a game with, was it Marcus Leto? No. Yeah, Marcus Leto, and that didn't happen, I think. Was it Marcus Leto? But
I don't remember.
I don't know if it was Marcus Leto, but somebody went to Netflix to make a game. That didn't work out either. I don't hate the idea of the studios under Warner Brothers having access to Netflix properties.
Yeah.
I think there are some companies that can do some things with that. Like I don't know what's going to happen with the Nemesis system, for example, but I think you could apply something like that to maybe like
House of Cards.
House of Cards.
Yeah.
Like a weird Squid Game situation, or like Stranger Things. I don't know. That's not my decision to make. K-pop Demon Hunters now could get itself a nice AAA video game with these studios. From an M&A standpoint, from a consolidation standpoint, there's only so much more consolidation we can do before we all collapse under that weight. That scares the hell out of me. But this is not the worst case scenario. And from a video game standpoint specifically, I feel a lot more confident in what Netflix will bring to the table for Warner Brothers portfolio than I would have at Paramount, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I think Netflix has at least shown a willingness to try to like figure out what it can do in the gaming space. Yes. It definitely is the kind of thing where they had the same false starts that all these other tech companies have had. They've had multiple moments where it's like, okay, they're going to try some ideas, but they've not done the thing where it's like, let's go all out and make a massive AAA game with a massive budget from a big name, a developer or something like that. They've tried smaller things. So hopefully what has happened here is that has prepped them, trained them for like having this thing. And they will still have a lot of expertise under them. They're acquiring the entire Warner Brothers video game side of things. So hopefully that turns into something where they can figure out, all right, now we do believe that video games is a worthy investment. Let's go ahead and make sure we get the most out of that when we're going forward. And that could mean more games and more stability for the people making that stuff. But we really don't know. This is going to be a deal that will get scrutinized and could fall apart because apparently the reports are Paramount boss, the other Larry Ellison's kid is going to be going to Trump and being like, please break up this deal. We wanted to buy this. And so there's a chance that could happen. This is not over yet, basically.
Correct. And there was an interesting perspective that was shared in one of the chats that I'm in. Somebody on X had said, what is more valuable to Netflix, $5 billion, or even if the deal falls through, guaranteeing that Comcast and Paramount can't touch Warner Brothers for 2 years while this is tied up in legal mumbo jumbo. Because the $5 million kill fee that's in it, or whatever, the breakup fee,
the breakup fee, if it doesn't go through.
If it doesn't go through. And that to me was an interesting perspective. It's kind of a win, not a win-win, because obviously they would want to own this portfolio, but it's enough of a wrench thrown into a Paramount or a Comcast's plan to have all these things that, I don't know, maybe there's an interesting outcome there too. I think Netflix ultimately wants to own it. And if we go back and analyze Activision Blizzard's being acquired by Xbox, I think there were some things in that the FCC may have, and the Department of Justice may have identified that may help them here. But I also think that there were hills that they could not climb in that merger that will apply here too, specifically in streaming. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see, even with all of the meddling that is due to happen in certain Oval offices. I put it at like a 50-50 that it goes through. I don't know about you, if you've had time to think about it like that yet.
No, I think that's probably right. Yeah, I mean, overall takeaway here is, more consolidation is very likely going to result in more problems. But, the comparison point here is Warner Brothers under David Zaslav. So it's like, I don't know, a little bit of a wash to me, I guess.
Yep.
But I mean, certainly it will create fewer places for people who want to make games to like, okay, now I could have gone to work at Netflix or Warner Brothers, and now that's one and the same. So yes, there will be an effect there on like the labor market for sure. I really don't know how Netflix expresses this. I think they want to, and upfront are going to want to figure out like the biggest IP for the movies and the television, and
Sure.
Once that's like sorted out, maybe then I think games gets some attention. And like you said, maybe it's going to be more than we're thinking.
Yeah.
All right. Let's keep going here. Fans think Mario Kart World might get a big Donkey Kong DLC any day now. This is from Ethan Gotch at Kotaku. It's been 6 months since Mario Kart World launched alongside the Switch 2. I know, right? It flies by. There have been some notable patches during the time, but no big content updates. Could the game's first paid DLC be right around the corner? Here's why some fans think so, and why it will feature tie-ins to Donkey Kong Bonanza. Let's see here. So Nintendo today, this is like some of the stuff will be, I'll try to talk around it. There could be some spoilers for Donkey Kong Bonanza. So I'll try to like not get too specific here. So data miners recently discovered an interesting early entry, for December 15th. It's an animation featuring Blank from Donkey Kong Bonanza. He's a familiar enough Nintendo character at this point. Even making it into other game. Yeah, that'll give it away. I knew this was going to be hairy. Basically, there's a character in the late game of Donkey Kong Bonanza, and people are seeing that he might be in Mario Kart here coming up pretty soon. It's been weird that there wasn't more of a tie-in to Bonanza for Mario Kart already. People early on noted, Jason, that there was like all these other characters had so many variations, and Donkey Kong had fewer than some of the other characters, meaning, well, his Bonanza stuff will be in the game once that game is out. That never happened. I guess the reason that never happened is because instead of making it free DLC to go alongside the game, Bonanza, they're going to make it a paid DLC expansion for Mario Kart World. I think that's too much too soon, that they're already asking for DLC for Mario Kart World. What do you think?
Well, I mean, we got paid DLC for Bonanza before Mario Kart World, and Bonanza came out.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, that was weird too. Yeah, for sure.
The fact that we haven't been asked to pay more money into Mario Kart World at all in the 6 months since its launch, that's still rattling around in my head, considering how long we speculated about the damn console.
Yeah, for real.
But yeah, I could definitely see the first Mario Kart World DLC appearing on Keighley's stage next week, and that's actually prime shadow drop material. You know what I mean? Like, it's out now. Go play while you're watching the show in the background, because you can play your Switch and keep the show on. I keep my viewership. They get their DLC dollars. Everybody happy. So yeah, I mean, this sounds like something that Nintendo would bring to the Game Awards too. Like, it's not a brand new game reveal, nothing substantial like that. But hey, we're going to add some stuff to the game that already exists. Yeah, this makes sense to me. The character who shall not be named would make perfect sense in the world of Mario Kart World. Still, one of my favorite moments of the entire year was that moment in Bonanza. And if you haven't played it yet, make sure you do.
Yeah, it's worth it for that, for sure.
Absolutely worth going in, not being spoiled. It's so good. Yeah, and all of the clues suggesting that Bonanza is the first crossover with Mario Kart World, the less costumes and things like that, it all fits.
It fits, but it's so like that's what's so frustrating about the paid DLC aspect is Donkey Kong has fewer costumes and stuff like that. So it's like, to me, this is like completing the game, because now Donkey Kong has all the same amount of stuff as he has as the other characters. So
yeah, it's Capcom putting the stuff on the DLC. The disc again.
It stinks, right? Yeah, I think maybe there's a chance like that stuff comes out and it's like in the free update, and then the paid DLC is like some new courses or something like that.
Courses, characters, that sort of thing. Yeah,
because did they charge for characters for the last Mario Kart 8, or was it all just new course packs?
It was the DLCs were booster pass courses. That's what they were. there was eight different DLC packs, I think, total, whatever it was. But yeah, characters, costumes, that all was, I believe, free. Although were Link and the Animal Crossing racers part of those packs, or were they added even if you didn't buy them? Now I can't.
Yeah, recall. People are saying that's exactly what it was. Those characters were included in the DLC, and then
they were in the packs.
And then I think they were included in the standard version of Deluxe for Switch. But I feel like you go all the way back to the Wii U version.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So fair. I mean, this is Nintendo. They turns out that's a company that likes money and will keep doing stuff like this. I guess we'll have to see the exact details. Again, I think if the content, the cosmetics come out and feel like that's a free update, I think that would be fine. I don't know if I'm ready to pay for DLC for Mario Kart World. That's a game that I'm like, let's get a few more updates, see if you can improve that a little bit, and then maybe I'll check back in. But, I'm sure they were planning this long before they knew what the response to that game would be.
Sure.
All right. Fallout creator has rejoined Xbox's Obsidian and says you won't guess what he's working on. This is from Andy Robinson at VGC. The lead behind the original 1997 Fallout game, Tim Kaine, has rejoined Xbox's Obsidian Entertainment as a full-time employee, he announced on Friday. Kaine, who was producer and programming lead on Fallout and a designer for its sequel, previously joined Obsidian in 2011 as a programmer, working on South Park and Pillars of Eternity. He also co-directed The Outer Worlds and consulted on its recent sequel. In 2020, he left his position and worked on a remote contracted basis. In a new video published on his YouTube channel on Friday, Kaine revealed that he's rejoined the company as a full-time employee and in person, and that he's currently working on an unannounced project, which he doesn't think fans will guess. I'm back at Obsidian, he said. I'm there as a full-time employee and in person, so not remote, and I'm not a contractor anymore. This means that I'm not working on at other places, although there's at least one game that I worked on elsewhere that I know is going to ship. He added, I can't talk about the project that I'm working on at Obsidian just because that's covered by NDA. Don't bother guessing. You're not going to guess right. I would probably say that I'm a lot less retired now. Right. So you see the headline. You're like, is he being cheeky? Is he being like, oh, you won't guess what I'm working on because he's working on Fallout, a new Fallout at Obsidian? I think he's being probably pretty honest here that you won't guess what it is. And so he's probably not working on a new Fallout, which we could try to guess what Tim Kaine is working on. I don't think we're going to be able to do that. But instead, it's like, well, this Obsidian was the other option for a new Fallout game. Do you think Obsidian is going to make a Fallout game alongside or while Bethesda works on Elder Scrolls 6, or do you think that's not happening now?
there has to be something going on with Fallout, considering the success of the Amazon Prime series. They would be ludicrous to leave that money on the table, because not only were Fallout fans flocked, not only did Fallout fans flock to that show, but there are people who just watch the show not knowing what Fallout was, who may go the other way and try and see what the Fallout games are like. Didn't after season 1, wasn't there a huge spike in New Vegas and Fallout 4 sales and Fallout 76 as well?
Fallout 4 had a ton of players after that first season.
Yeah. So it would be ludicrous for them not to be working on Fallout. Now, is that what he's working on? Remains to be seen. And no, we're not going to guess it, because even if we did, you're not going to acknowledge it.
No,
so
of course,
we don't know if we're guessing it or not. So, but I don't know if I want it to be a new Fallout, or if I want it to be a new, like a new game that played like Fallout 1. I don't think Fallout could ever go back to Fallout 1 and 2. Right?
I mean,
that franchise.
What if it was like, the HD 2D equivalent, right? Like, let's take some modern 2D visual styles, some isometric graphical effects, and make a spiritual successor to Fallout 1 and 2 as a smaller side project to sort of fill in the gap while we wait for the next, quote unquote, real Fallout.
Yeah, that's what Wasteland was.
Wasteland was pretty similar to that, yeah.
Yeah, so
it has a lot of those vibes, yeah.
Was he on Wasteland? I'm pretty sure it was his.
That was over at In Exile.
In Exile, which is also under Microsoft.
Yes.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yep.
So yeah, if they go the CRPG route, even if it's a brand new franchise, or if Obsidian takes over Wasteland, maybe there's some interesting possibilities here. I'm trying to think what other RPG franchises are under the Xbox window that aren't already being addressed. So Elder Scrolls 6, we obviously know, is somewhere in Bethesda studio. Fable is any day now. We're going to hear about when that's coming out, right? Hopefully.
Sure.
Yeah. Wasteland. Maybe they brought him in to finish State of Decay 3. Let's see. Maybe that's finally. Maybe
he's making the other new Banjo game. That's right, chat. Yeah. There we go.
Oh God. Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of possibilities here. I'm excited for it to be a new Forza, and just completely I wanted to make racing. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, right. And it's don't worry, it's still isometric. It's an RC Pro-Am, yeah.
Yeah, it's rock and roll racing too. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Whoa. I believe rock and roll racing is under Microsoft's umbrella. That was a joke.
Yeah, no, they can make it happen. This is it.
Oh, please do. But yeah,
it'd be incredible if that's what it was. I want a rock and roll racing RPG. That's what I want. Yeah,
that'd be sick. And Lost Vikings have to be in it. But yeah, I'm glad he found a project worthy of him coming out of semi-retirement. That alone is exciting.
Yeah, and I think it's cool that Obsidian can be that place where he's like, I'll just go back to and we'll start working on something, and I'm sure they love having him. That's pretty cool to see. Yeah. All right, let's take a break. Plenty more headlines to get into, including we'll clear up what's happening with that Banjo-Kazooie. You should get as excited as possible, though. There's no way you'll be disappointed, I promise. We'll talk about that after these messages. If you want to skip out on these ads, we put out an ad-free version of the video show and an ad-free version of the audio show that you can get by going to giantbomb.com/join. We will be right back. All right, we are back. It's Game Mess Mornings. Jason Fanelli, Jeff Grubb. Let's get into these reviews. This time not for a game, but a video game movie, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. The reviews are in, and it's I'm going to read what Evan Campbell at GameSpot wrote here. They are very bad. Very bad reviews. All right, well.
Hey, the Popeye's chicken box was good.
Yeah.
I'll give it that.
The reviews rolling out for Five Nights at Freddy's 2 are brutal, featuring F grades and one critic saying that there's simply nothing of value here. The sequel premieres in theaters today, right? It's like, Jesus, we are all dumber for having known this movie exists. The sequel premieres in theaters today, December 5th, and stars Josh Hutcherson, Piper Rubio, Matthew Lillard, Elizabeth Lail, McKenna Grace, and Megan Fox. On Metacritic, a GameSpot sister site, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is currently sitting at a 32 Metascore. That means generally unfavorable. Yeah, that's where all the reviews are at. It's doing much worse than the first movie, apparently, in terms of the critical reception. And, I'm always interested to see, like, which way do these franchises break once the first movie makes some money. It's like, okay, they're going to come back and do another one. Is it going to go the schlocky Resident Evil, let's just cash in on this route? I know that has its fans. I bet this is going to have its fans. I might even end up watching this and becoming a fan. Who knows? But there is that route. And then there's the Sonic route, which is, hey, we have something here. Let's really treat it nice and see if we can keep making new sequels that make more money in the future. I think instead what they have is a spreadsheet that says, hey, if we make a new movie and we don't cross this budget, we will make this amount of profit. And even if it's less than last time because of waning interest, well, we're still going to make a pretty hefty profit here. And we'll just keep doing that for now. Not surprising though, right? Video game movie getting poor critic reviews. That happens every time, it feels like.
Yes. Are you familiar with Five Nights as a franchise?
I mean,
are you
vaguely.
familiar with this? Okay,
I know the concept.
I'm a lore sicko for this. I have not played a second of any of these games, but I am a lore sicko.
That's the best kind of sicko, by the way.
All the theory channels. So I have an idea of what the story is in this game. So the guy who made the game, Scott Cawthon, in the first movie, he was a co-writer. He had people, let's say, holding his hand. He did not have that in this movie. No. The sole writer. If he's writing the movie like he wrote the games, there is no doubt in my mind that these critics were like, what the fuck is going on here? Because that's how he made the games. The story, the way he wrote his stories for video games simply will not work, because part of the appeal in the videos that I have watched, because I am a sissy, is finding the lore in hidden spots, whether it's hidden random mini games that pop up if you perform certain parameters, or audio logs from the guy that calls you in the first couple of movies, phone guy. That stuff will appeal to the main fan base, which I do not think these reviews will deter them. They were seeing this movie whether they like it or not. The game theory fans of the world, just to hear Matt Pat's voice come out of the toy Bonnie, they want to hear that. They're going to see their animatronics. Apparently, the practical effects are still very good, even in all these bad reviews. That part's really cool. So, but from a lore standpoint, if they're writing their basic story the same way that they framed it in those games, this does not surprise me at all, and I don't think financially it will suffer that much for it. I truly do not.
I think you're probably right. I think the games, like, who knows? I don't know how they review it all, but that does not matter to that audience, like, even a tiny bit. You're right. I think they're there for the lore. That definitely is what I see is a lot of YouTube shorts explaining what's going on in this world or whatever. And they'll get more of that from this. God. So wait, you're saying the guy that made the game is the only writer on this?
On this movie. He was a co-writer in the first movie with, I believe, the director and one other person. According to what I have read, he is the sole credited writer.
That makes it more interesting, because this could truly be for the sickos, like capital FTS, for the sickos, and that could be interesting to see.
Reviews that I have read is that the entire third act of this movie doesn't exist. It's just a tease for future things, which is the entire fucking franchise as a whole. It's what it does.
Right.
There's a little nod for horror fans too. Matthew Lillard is the bad guy. William Afton, the serial killer who owns the restaurants and kills kids, and their soul inhabits it's fucking weird. But the guy in the game lore, who was his business partner, is played in this movie by Skeet Ulrich. And if you know where Skeet Ulrich and Matthew Lillard have paired up before, that's a nice little tip of the cap to horror fans. That's neat. That's the kind of people who are going to come see this movie. This doesn't surprise me at all. The games can be so incoherent in how they present their lore, and they won't answer questions. Like, there was a question in the fourth game FNAF 4 in 20, would that be 17, 18, something like that, that I think we still don't have a concrete answer to after all these games and movies and novels and graphic novels and children's activity books have the fucking lore in them. It's everywhere. Yeah. I'm not surprised that people think this is incoherent because you think Kingdom Hearts is incoherent. You people have no idea what's going on in this Chuck E. Cheese ripoff. It's nuts.
All right. If I those games are not like so scary that if my kids like saw some of these videos, right, that they would be scared. They could probably handle it that way. If you, like, because you're also scared of video games, right? Like I am.
Don't do it, Grubb. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I need to know. I want to know what's going on.
It's jump scare scary. It's not gory scary. There's not a whole lot of gore to it. But yeah, man, it gets into like kids are inhabiting these animatronics because they were killed by the owner, and they take their revenge, and it's an iceberg that you don't want to. I would recommend you to the Game Theory channel, the very popular Matt Pat Game Theory channel, but there are, I think, no joke, 90 episodes in 11 years.
All right, never mind. Fuck that. Okay. Never mind. I'm good.
It's nuts.
All right. Well, hey, I'm going to watch this movie. I didn't watch the first one. I'm going to watch this one specifically. I need to see it.
Okay.
All right. Almost 25 years later, a translated version of Segagaga is finally coming out. This is from Jonas Mackey at Game Reactor. Are you familiar with Segagaga? We assume that very few of you will answer yes to that question, but then again, it is a very obscure Dreamcast game, one that was released shortly after the console was discontinued in 2001 and only in Japan. Segagaga did get some attention, though, mostly because of its weird premise. It's a super satirical strategy game where you're asked with saving Sega from going under, a healthy dose of self-criticism and self-irony, by recruiting developers, making popular games, and fighting off their competitor Dogma, a parody of Sony. Thanks to its meta approach, sleek design, and a lot of Sega fan service, it's still become a cult classic, but few have played it, as it was never translated. However, a Sega enthusiast intends to change this, and has now been announced via Dreamcast Talk that a fan translation will soon be ready. Yeah, there's a lot of like really weird references in this game. I think what the Segata Sanshiro, I think is the name of the character. I think yes, and I think he might be referenced in the game. And I'm like, well, that's one of my favorite characters of all time. So
he's great.
I'm going to check this out. And I always love a new fan translation and a game I never really heard of, like for an old console. That all these things are checking boxes for me. So I think I'm going to hop in and look at this. And this is fantastic stuff, right? The scene that translates these games feels like it's getting bigger, and they're doing more and more deeper cuts. And it's just awesome to see. Like, I'm glad gaming can still be this, that they have not found ways to take this away from us, of fans coming through and just making games for each other or doing the work for each other. And I love seeing it.
Yeah, I agree. Anytime an old school game like this that I have forgotten, or even better, hadn't even heard of growing up, getting another chance to shine. And it seems like they're being left alone. Just get it out, do it. You're not going to make, as long as they don't charge any money for it, if it's just a free translation, I think that's where things start getting hairy, right?
Yes.
I think this is awesome. I think if there are more fan favorites out there and people have the time to dedicate to it, if they can do this free translation and get it into more people's hands, just even if only for preservation, right? If that is your baseline reason for wanting to do it, it's worth it. Just to keep these games alive forever. I had never heard of this. I didn't realize there was a Save Sega simulator back then when it needed saving. This is a really cool idea. I may check this out. I may give it a shot once this fan translation came out. It's actually a good day for old school games that may be resurrected. I don't know if you saw this news. There was an interview with Suda51 at Grasshopper, and he mentioned that he wanted to bring back an obscure PS2 game called Michigan Report from Hell. Do you remember this one?
No, I don't, actually.
It's a survival horror action adventure, and as soon as he said the name, I remember seeing it on the shelf and being curious and never doing anything with it. So good day for obscure weird games getting shouted out.
Yeah,
I'm into this Segagaga. This is cool.
Yeah, that's the thing. That was the era of like when weird games were coming from big companies. We get a lot of weird games these days, but they're weird. out of nowhere, who knows who made this thing on Steam. And big companies don't really invest in weirdness anymore. And that's when it was like so punk rock in terms of, this team at this Japanese publisher is going to make this game, and they don't really tell them what to do. They're just going to come up with something, and suddenly we have whatever, incredible crisis. So love to see this stuff preserved. And people are saying that I'll probably enjoy this. Also play Michigan. I will. That sounds incredible. I really like old games, guys. I promise I'll play that. We'll make that happen. Splitgate 2 launches as Splitgate Arena Reloaded on December 17th. This is from Sal Romano at Gamatsu. Free-to-play portal-based arena shooter Splitgate 2 will relaunch as under a new name, Splitgate Arena Reloaded, for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC via Steam, Epic Game Store, and Microsoft Store on December 17th. That's according to the studio. 1047 Games also announced an upcoming mini documentary about the game to be released on December 9th. And they say Splitgate has always been a love letter to the arena shooters we grew up playing. We've been hard at work rebuilding the game from the ground up, taking the best of Splitgate 1 and 2, removing what didn't work, and refining what did. Watson, who was previously game director of Rocket League, joined 1047 Games shortly after Splitgate 2 entered early access in 2025, I think they're saying. Splitgate 2 is the one that came out already and fizzled, and then they sort of de-launched it, right?
I think it was beta. Was it a beta that they just kind of removed, or like what? Maybe something like that. This was also the game with the fella going on the Summer Games Fest with the hat.
Make games great again, man. Well, make gaming great again. What's wrong with that? Other than, oh man, I don't mean to offend you. I hope this doesn't offend you. Like, he was such a nerd about it too. And that happened right. It happened right alongside when the game just seemed to be fizzling out. No one cared. So what do you think happens now?
I think it fizzles again, to be honest. I'm sorry to say. I think the ship has sailed on Splitgate. I think the taint of that taint and his hat may still be there. I don't want to say that, because Splitgate is a very cool, very interesting idea, mixing first-person shooter, or turning Portal into an actual first-person shooter instead of just shooting portals. Right? I like it. I like the first one. I thought it was really cool. I just hope that if it does have an opportunity, that they keep their goddamn mouth shut and just let the game speak for itself this time.
Yep.
Strap him to his desk and say, "Shut up. We'll take it from here." But I don't like its chances. I think now people hear Splitgate, they immediately think of the hat, and that immediately removes any chance of being taken seriously that there may have been. And I'm sorry to say that, because it's self-sabotage in the worst way, but that's just how it is.
Yep. You're right. And a lot of people are, even if they aren't like paying attention, it's like, if you just see the bad vibes around a multiplayer game, it's so easy to go play something else. There's so many options. So yeah. We'll see. It seems like a lot of good people did work on the game, and I hope they do all right. But I think I agree with you that this is probably going to come and go as well, especially in the wake of Battlefield 6 and Arc Raiders being right there. People just have bigger, better options in a lot of ways, and you can kind of rest assured that those games will have the long-term support. So if you're investing your time and money into them, that will probably be returned to you in some way in the future. Yeah. All right, let's get to it. Banjo-Kazooie fan project inside Sony's abandoned game maker looks surprisingly great. Now, I know that was a roller coaster right there, everybody, and we'll get to Zach Swisen's article over at Kotaku here in a second. Banjo-Kazooie fan project to go way down there, and then inside of Dreams, I'm sure you pieced that together. Okay. It looks so much better than what you're thinking. It looks incredible. It looks like they really just made a new Banjo game. It is fantastic stuff. So let's get to Zach's story here. It seems very unlikely that we'll get a new Banjo-Kazooie game from Rare and Xbox anytime in the near future. Yeah, if they were working on one, I wouldn't be surprised if it got canceled. And while an impressive-looking fan-made Banjo game created in Dreams isn't quite the sequel or remake people want, it's probably the best we can hope for in 2025. It's also wildly impressive for something made in Sony's 5-year-old abandoned game maker. On December 3rd, William Butkivicus, but I don't know how to say this. William B., a level designer at Moon Studios, shared a trailer for Banjo-Kazooie Mumbo Mania, a new non-official 1 to 2 hour game starring everyone's favorite bear and bird. It looks really good. According to the creator, it took about 14 months and 800 plus hours to make the Mumbo Mania. And there's a trailer out there where it's like, it animates like a modern game. Like Banjo's nose is bouncing around. He's just like doing platforming and collecting stuff. This is super impressive stuff. And 1 to 2 hours, I'll take it. That sounds like a great time.
I'm watching this trailer right now, and it looks like a Banjo.
Right. Live reacts here from Jason, who's blown away, I think. Yes.
How is Dreams not like a Roblox competitor?
That's the thing. It's just Roblox. Its technology is so much more advanced. The games look so much better than the drivel you get out of Dreams. Obviously, Dreams can't compete. We live in a nightmare upside down world, Jason Fanelli.
I was gonna say, you have that backwards. You're being silly. No, this looks really cool. Really cool. I with enough people getting this information, maybe Xbox could take some notes. That's wild. I may buy Dreams for this.
I am buying Dreams for this. Yes,
Yeah.
I am. I think I might already have Dreams, but if I don't, I'm going to buy it, and then I'm going to go find my way into this. It just looks so well done that I want to reward it. And apparently, the person that did this has made other like full kind of games before and has done various projects. In fact, the one before this was supposed to be his last one, and then he did this Banjo-Kazooie one. It's kind of as a surprise. So, yeah, there's people that really get it, and it's just a shame. A couple things. Dreams never came to PC, so a little bit more difficult to access this thing. That's frustrating. Whatever. But they were at one point, and I don't know if this was just talk or maybe like fans got it in their heads, but my understanding was at one point, the idea was going to be that people could build an experience in Dreams and then sort of export it and let it live on its own. Of course, there's rights issues of exporting stuff that includes Banjo-Kazooie, Microsoft's IP. But whatever. I wish it was easy just to export this and like hand a file to someone or put it up on PlayStation as something shareable if you have Dreams, where it's like you don't even have to download Dreams. You could just play this game and be ready to go. I don't know. It's a shame that Dreams did not become more of a thing. I think that Media Molecule coming out of that and still living in a post-Roblox world will be like still trying to make something like that happen. But man, if Dreams that is capable of something like this didn't work, it's like I don't know what the recipe is to get something like that to actually compete in this world where like Grand Theft Auto is going to have its own creation suite and Roblox is still going to be there and Fortnite's doing its own thing with that stuff. It's got to be frustrating to Media Molecule, who's been doing that for longer than just about anybody.
Yeah, this is like, I want this to be a full experience now. This is wild stuff. Yep. And again, it speaks, as you said, it speaks to just how good of a game generator Dreams was. But I think part of the reason is the lack of PC. And part of the reason that people may have been dissuaded by this is because to get here in this video that we're watching now, it took, as you said, 800 hours of work. And people just don't have it unless they really want to dedicate time to it. So I get it, but man, oh man, the potential of that platform is still clearly out of this world.
We've not seen the end of it. We've not seen the end of Media Molecule doing something along these lines. Not at all. You know, that is a studio that if Sony was going to close them, they probably would have by now. So that to me says they see some potential there, and they're going to keep trying to make that work. Even though Dreams was a miss for them, I think they're like, we can figure out a way to wrap this up in a container that makes it more appealing and gets sort of the benefits of the user-generated content economy. All right, last headline here. It's a sad one. Restful Trails to Mortal Kombat's Shang Tsung, played by Cary-Hiroyuki Tagawa, who died at age 75. This is from John Walker at Kotaku. Cary-Hiroyuki Tagawa was an actor that everyone would immediately recognize, but perhaps many would struggle to name. Known best for his portrayal of Shang Tsung, in 1995's ridiculous Mortal Kombat movie, and I'm assuming that John Walker means ridiculous in a good way, because that's the best video game movie. And then voicing the character in the game since 2013. God, that's right, he returned in 2013. Yeah, this stinks. I think that I was said on a show last night that he just has such a presence in that Mortal Kombat movie. I think he's like a sort of the linchpin to make that whole thing work. He was just so charismatic and like scene stealing. This makes me real sad. I think this guy seemed really cool.
Yeah, I am very, very glad that he got to reprise the role in not just his face, in his likeness.
Yep.
In Mortal Kombat 11, one last go with the character that he made iconic. That was very, very cool. And then to see Mortal Kombat 1 carry on that version of the character with the I don't remember the name of the actor who played him in 1, but it sounds just like a young Tagawa. It's insane. This sucks. Yeah, this is sad. It's the memes, like it has begun and you will die. They will live on forever in the heads
soul
of
is mine. He fucking kills it.
Yeah, it's sad. A guy like that, and even the other roles like Krull in Planet of the Apes was him. Tagomi and Man of the High Castle, great show.
Yes, he's great in that. He's great in that show. He really is. I was so happy to see him there. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he voiced for what? Star Wars Vision, Star Wars Rebels, Blue Eye Samurai.
We have a bunch.
So he was more prolific than you think. Go look up his IMDb or his Wikipedia filmography, and I guarantee you there will be multiple projects that you enjoy that you didn't even know he was a part of. Yep. 75. It's a life well lived, and he made an impact on a lot of people. That's really all you can ask for. Happy trails, pal.
Yep, absolutely. Rest in peace, brother. All right, let's get to the poll question from yesterday. Let's see over here. I have the most up-to-date and fresh results. Were you planning on building a PC in 2026? 13% said yes. 87% said no. Very good news for that 87%. Hopefully you can maybe not do one for the next 2 years. For that 1 in 10, that more than 1 in 10, 1 in 9, I suppose, respondents who are saying, I was planning to do that. Man, it's going to get rough out there. And, you know, that's probably, it probably is like sort of like the normal number. Like 1 in 10 people are probably going to upgrade their PC. It's like a mattress where you buy one every 5 to 10 years. And so that is going to be the normal amount of demand versus just limited supply and higher prices. So it's going to get real rough.
I was in that 10%.
Oh,
that
buddy.
1 in 10%. My current rig was a pandemic build, so I am due for a couple of tunes, but I'm not due for any tunes anymore. We'll say that it just can't. And it sucks because this rig can't support Windows 11. So I'm stuck on 10 for the foreseeable future. And that scares me because security updates don't happen anymore. So it's bad timing for sure. I'll have to figure something out, but yeah.
It's the kind of thing where it's, you know, my recommendation for anyone doing this now, it's what I would be doing is getting in that used market and getting secondhand parts and just trying to go on the cheap for now. Or people like for gaming, like obviously if you're trying to get your machine secure for work and stuff like that, this is not going to help necessarily. But for gaming, GeForce Now continues to be pretty cool. So if you want to just stream from the cloud instead, GeForce Now works. Yep. All right, that's the poll question from yesterday out of the way. No new poll question because we're going to be doing the Bomb 12 to wrap up the week. So let's get everything else out of the way. Let's see. Jason Fanelli, why don't you tell people where they can find you on the internet, what you have going on, and all of that good stuff?
I am jasonfanelli.com on Blue Sky. Big man Fanelli everywhere else. Like I said, I will be at the Game Awards next week. Got some cool things in the pipeline already there. Other than that, I write news for GameSpot pretty often. I don't know if you can hear what's going on. I don't know what the dogs are freaking out about. Sorry, guys. But
we love it.
But yeah, we're doing it, man. We're coming towards the end of the year. 2026 is on the horizon, and this weekend in particular, I will be embedded in the Marvel ToeCon closed beta. I did get in, so if you're hanging around in the East Coast server and you see Big Man Fanelli, let's slap fight. I would love to play a couple matches with you. I will be in there multiple times throughout the weekend. Played about an hour this morning. That shit has the juice. It's so cool.
Okay,
it's
exciting.
It's so fun. It's a simplified control scheme with way more complicated things to do. So you're still only have to press certain buttons and directions to do the special moves, but the way that you can link them together and the way that you can like really create some wild ass combos with all of your different partners coming in is really neat. I like that you have to unlock certain partners by doing the screen transitions. That's an interesting little strategic foible. I do have one worry in my limited time with it, and this is purely from a watching standpoint, from a competitive standpoint. When the game finally launches, Arc System Works tends to fall into a trap where they create these elaborately animated super moves, and then they become an integral part of the strategy and you can't skip the cutscenes. Dragon Ball Fighter Z fell into that a lot, and I expect that so far it's not that bad, but there were a couple instances where I wasn't even trying to do the super move and I did the super move and I'm like, oh, guess I'm watching the animation again. Cool. It kind of like throws your vibe off a little bit when you're in the middle, in the middle of a match, but it's easy to come back from, and very much a nitpick in what is otherwise a super cool game.
Yep. Man, okay. Looking forward to hearing more about that as you play more. Okay, excellent. Let's see. Okay, with that out of the way, let's talk about what's happening on Giant Bomb for the rest of today. We're going to have a UPF. We're going to be doing some Kirby City trials, hanging out. You all, we'll have like a room going. We'll see how it's going to work exactly, but if you want to hang out and play with us all, you could maybe we'll put the room code out there if it's going to work. But yeah, that'll be happening later today. Looking forward to that, and then I'm going to go play some more Metroid and get out of here for the weekend. So, all right, let's see. I think that means it's time for the Bomb 12, everybody. Yay! Let's get to the 12 games that really matter to people who are really playing video games. We got last minute updates. I got this done right before we started the show. Let's go here with number 12, World of Warcraft. It has that new update. People are checking it out again. That's cool. Usually how that goes. It's actually often in this range in the responses. So not surprised that the update, which is either here or it's coming, is pushing people over the edge. And now that's number 12. Number 11 is Final Fantasy 14. Number 10 is Sectori, which, boy, man, that is in my top 5 for games of the year now after I got kind of a God run going. It's like, oh yeah, they really just designed the hell out of this thing. Number 9 is Arc Raiders. Number 8 is Pokemon Legends ZA. Number 7, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Cool. Number 6, Death Stranding 2. Yeah, I think it's one of those ones where it's end of the year. There's some sales. A lot of people jumped in to check out Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Number 5, Battlefield 6. Number 4, Hollow Knight Silk Song. That means number 3, Demon School, up from like number 5 last week. Number 2, Hades 2 still. Just permanently locked in at number 2 right now. And number 1, Metroid Prime 4, just released. I know some people on Wednesday night traveled to Australia somehow magically, instantly, and started playing the game early. And so, yeah, I know, right? Pretty impressive. And then since then, everyone else has been able to pick it up. I'm about 3 to 4 hours in, and I'm enjoying it so far. So kind of need to wait to see what people are seeing about the rest of the game.
I saw maybe you can shed a little light on this. Somebody called Metroid Prime 4 its version of a 3D Zelda. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, so I've not encountered that stuff so far, but talking to Dan, who said the same thing, it's like, a lot of the big areas that you would sort of that would be more interconnected are more standalone, like temples or not shrines, but yes, like dungeons from Zelda. And so that's how they've thought about it, it seems like. I've not seen that myself yet, though. I think I'm just kind of getting to that point. Got it. Cool. Yeah, I haven't purchased it yet. It's on my list. I'm going to do it soon. Hey, Poppy. Yeah, see? Nothing to freak out. It's just Jeff. Yeah. No reason to bark. He was 2 floors up, and you heard him. He could just smell me. Yeah. All right. We have a new Bomb 12 next week, everybody. Again, the schedule's going to get hairy here near the end of the year with us traveling to do our Game of the Year stuff. For us taking some time off near the end of the year, we'll have more to say about all the specifics on all of that. But, when I can, we're going to be doing Game Mess mornings, and there will be a Bomb 12 in one form or another every week. So thanks to everybody who submitted their game. We'll have a new link up on the new giantbomb.com as that is getting ready to launch. Once again, shouts out to Chuck for helping us out with that and really helping us, doing all of the work, just kind of killing it and being incredible. So looking forward to that launching. Yep. Just thank you so much. Thank Chuck for Chuck. All right. And in the meantime, let's thank Jason for Jason. Jason Fanelli, thank you so much for being here and talking about video games with me, man. I really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, my friend. Looking forward to the next time.
Thank you all for watching and listening. You are the best audience in gaming. Until next time, have a good one. Take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves and have a good one. Goodbye. And thanks, Jen.
Thanks, Jen.